The jury in the Dale Warner murder trial will not report to court on Wednesday. That's because we have some outstanding motions that the judge needs to rule on from Friday. They will report Thursday morning when opening statements start. But for Wednesday, we have two motions that were combined. One is other acts and another one is hearsay. These relate to supposed behavior and relationship problems between Dale Warner and Dee Warner in the years and time leading up to the alleged murder. So the defense says that this supposed behavior from 2019 involves Dale Warner monitoring Dee's vehicle and her phone, and the fact that Dee would apparently recoil during arguments and that he previously choked her, as well as them arguing both in person and in text message. Dale Warner's defense attorney said this is irrelevant, it's hearsay, but the prosecution is arguing that any insinuation of marital disharmony is relevant, and that he was tracking her 2,000 times in her Cadillac, dozens of times in her Hummer, tried to have her phone cloned, and that a massage therapist saw bruises on Dee that she said was caused by Dale, as well as Dee allegedly being pushed into a dresser, and 4 witnesses saying that Dee told them that. The prosecution is saying this constitutes domestic violence. The defense is saying Dale has admitted that some of these text messages were hellacious, as she put it. The judge had said that he needed additional time because these were all separate instances on separate grounds. So another motion that's being discussed is the defense seeking to admit prior bad acts by Greg Hardy, who is Dee Warner's brother, and that this is not allowed under the rules of evidence. The defense says they have a right to the defense and a right to show bias and motive to lie, saying that Greg Hardy has lied to the media, according to one of the detectives on the case's own text. The defense is saying how investigators investigated Hardy is relevant to Warner's defense. The Hardys hired a private investigator to put misinformation and disinformation onto YouTube. The defense wants to show that the scope of the investigation and what they did and did not ignore. The defense will state that Greg Hardy trespassed on Dale Warner's property and had aggressive contact with Dale Warner's prior attorneys. They're saying this is relevant to how the investigation was conducted. Their argument is that law enforcement knew of Greg Hardy's history of aggression and then chose to only focus their investigation on Dale Warner. So the judge said he's taking that under advisement as well. He did deny the change of venue motion for Friday this morning. He said it was difficult to find a jury, but it's not impossible. And then we know just a couple hours later, a jury was indeed seated without each attorney even using anywhere close to the peremptory challenges that they were given by the judge. You can follow along with our trial coverage. We have been asked if this trial is going to be streamed. That is a decision that was just made by the judge a few days ago. Initially, it was not going to be streamed. It now is. So you can watch this on WTOL 11+. That is our free streaming app. You can also text questions for us to 419-248-1100. And you can watch each day's testimony on demand.